Good afternoon. Yes, you did not hear from us because we had to be muted here while we were hooking up the Kojiko, so we can hear everybody. So at this time, I'm going to call the special meeting of council of Tuesday, March the 25th, 2020 to order. And I'd like to recognize everybody. First of all, in council chambers are the deputy mayor, the deputy clerk and our treasurer, and also the manager of the emergency services and planning. On Zoom, are the councilors, all of our council is present. So we have the deputy, Councillor Abdallah, Councillor Jacquinot, Councillor Lafreniere, Councillor Plummer, and Councillor Reevy. Before we get started, what I'd like is just to have a brief moment of reflection. Thank you. Disclosure of pecuniary interest and general nature thereof. We'll go right into bylaws. Bylaw 2020-23, amend procedure bylaw, Deputy Mayor.
Your Worship, moved by myself, second by Councillor Plummer, that bylaw 2020-23, a bylaw to amend bylaw 2016-44, a bylaw to establish the rules governing the order and proceedings of council and committees of the Corporation of the City of Pembroke, being the procedural bylaw, be adopted and passed, and further that the said bylaw be signed by the mayor and clerk and sealed with the seal of the corporation.
That bylaw 2020-23, moved by the Deputy Mayor, seconded by Councillor Plummer. That bylaw 2020-23, a bylaw to amend bylaw 2016-44, a bylaw to establish the rules governing the order of proceedings of council and committees of the Corporation of the City of Pembroke, procedural bylaw, be adopted and passed. And further that the said bylaw be signed by the mayor and clerk and sealed with the corporation. So at this time, I'd like to call for a recorded vote, please.
Deputy Mayor Gervais?
Yay.
Councillor Abdallah?
Yay.
Councillor Jacquinot?
Yes.
Councillor Lafreniere?
Yes.
Councillor Plummer?
Yay.
Councillor Reevy?
Yay.
And Mayor Lemay?
Yay.
Bylaw 2020-23 passes.
Bylaw carried. Now we go to the confirming bylaw, please, Deputy Mayor.
Your Worship, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Reevy, that bylaw 06-20 to confirm the proceedings of the special meeting of council of March 25th, 2020 be adopted and passed, and further that the said bylaw be signed by the mayor and clerk and sealed with the seal of the corporation.
Moved by the Deputy Mayor and seconded by Councillor Reevy that bylaw 06-2020 to confirm the proceedings of the special meeting of council of March 25th, 2020 be adopted and passed. And further that the said bylaw be signed by the mayor and clerk and sealed with the seal of the corporation. Again, I'd call for a recorded vote.
Deputy Mayor Gervais?
Yay.
Councillor Abdallah?
Yay.
Councillor Jacquinot?
Yay.
Councillor Lafreniere?
Yay.
Councillor Reevy?
Yay.
Councillor Plummer?
Yay.
And Mayor Lemay?
Yay. Yay.
So the vote is unanimous.
Could I have a motion to adjourn this special meeting, please? Deputy Mayor?
Your Worship, moved by myself and it's seconded by Councillor Abdallah.
Again, could we have a recorded vote, please?
Deputy Mayor Gervais?
Yay.
Councillor Abdallah?
Yay.
Councillor Jacquinot?
Yay.
Councillor Lafreniere?
Yay.
Councillor Plummer?
Yay.
Councillor Reevy?
Yay.
And Mayor Lemay?
Yay.
The vote is unanimous.
This meeting is now adjourned. I'd like to call the Finance Administration Committee meeting for Tuesday, March the 25th, 2020 to order. Disclosure pecuniary interest and general nature thereof? None. Approval of our meeting agenda? Deputy Mayor?
Your worship, I would move that we approve the agenda as circulated, and I believe that it's being seconded by Councillor Giacono.
Thank you. Again, could we have a recorded vote, please?
Deputy Mayor Gervais.
Yay.
Councillor Abdallah.
Yay.
Councillor Giacono.
Yay.
Councillor Lafreniere.
Yay.
Councillor Plummer.
Yay.
Councillor Reevy.
Yay.
And Mayor Lemay.
Yay. It is carried. Approval of the minutes of the Finance Administration Committee meeting of March the 3rd, 2020. Deputy Mayor.
Your worship, moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Lafreniere, the minutes of March 3rd, 2020 as circulated.
Recorded vote, please.
Deputy Mayor Gervais.
Yay.
Councillor Abdallah. Councillor Abdallah.
Yay.
Councillor Giacono.
Yay.
Councillor Lafreniere.
Yay.
Councillor Plummer.
Yay.
Councillor Reevy.
Yay.
And Mayor Lemay.
Yay.
Carried.
Carried. All right, I realize this is a bit cumbersome going with recorded vote, but as this is our first time using this particular system, I think this is the way we will go for, at least for this meeting. New business, property tax and water sewer due dates. The treasurer, please.
So the first item on the agenda tonight for Finance and Administration Committee is to obtain direction on a possible extension of property tax and water and sewer due dates. At the beginning of March, the city issued interim tax bills to residents in all classes due in 2 installments, being March 31st and May 29th. The city will issue final tax bills in the summer, with typical due dates being August 31st and October 30th. A number of questions have been raised by residents from all property classes about the possible extension of the city's March 31st interim tax due date, given the economic uncertainties and business closures caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. I have reached out to other local municipalities regarding their approach to this matter, and they've undertaken different approaches, from no change in due dates to an extension of due date to a waiving of penalty and interest. The larger urban centers in Ontario, like Toronto and Ottawa, have extended their property, water, and sewer due dates to the end of May. It is important to note that the city sets tax, water, and sewer rates and bills residents to cover the costs of operating our city each year. So this provides the city with funding to not only pay our employees, but our other financial obligations, which include our quarterly payments to the local school boards, our OPP, the city's share of long-term care, paramedic costs, the list goes on. Certainly addressing the economic impact of this pandemic and providing income stability measures is, at the end of the day, the role of the federal and provincial governments, but it will certainly take time for these different levels of governments to implement support programs. The banks have also indicated a willingness to defer mortgage payments, but again, this will take time to implement. So certainly in the short term, deferring tax, water, and sewer due dates is something that the city can do to assist residents while new programs are being established. So certainly this is an emerging issue for all of us. And in the medium term, once the city fully understands the scope and impact of this pandemic, we can, revisit our tax policy and see if there are other steps the city could take to assist our local community. I was in a conference call with the Ontario Municipal Tax and Revenue Association yesterday, and this is something the larger urban centers are looking at. However, it will take time and may require changes to the Municipal Act, which governs the powers of the city. So I will certainly keep abreast of this issue and bring forward further recommendations once more information is known. On the water and sewer billing side, the city will be issuing second quarter water and sewer billings in April with a typical due date of April 30th. Quarter three water sewer bills would be typically due July 15 and fourth quarter bills due October 15. Again, given the circumstances, extending the due date is something the city can do in the short term to provide relief to residents during this time of flux. Possible recommendations include an extension of the first 2020 interim property tax due date from March 31st to either the end of April or the end of May, and an extension of the second quarter water sewer billing from the end of April to the end of May. In terms of the financial impact to the city, it's hard to predict the true financial impact because we don't know ultimately when residents will make payments. But in a worst-case scenario, there is approximately $2 million of property taxes outstanding related to the March 31st installment. So in a worst-case scenario, the impact of deferring the March 31st due date could be as high as $23,650 a month. And the estimated financial impact of extending the second quarter water and sewer due date by a month is estimated at $5,000.
Thank you. All right, I'd like a motion put on the floor so then we can have discussion. Any of the councillors?
I'll move if so permitted.
Could I have a
I'd like to
seconder,
move-
please?
What's the motion?
I'd like to move that we move both dates to the end of May, to May 29th or so. So the water would be the May 29th as well as the first installment of taxes due from May 29th.
I would second that.
Thank you. Now we'll open it for discussion, and what I'm going to do is just ask, first of all, would the mover like to make a comment?
Was that still with the time being in turmoil and not knowing what's coming certainly and how long this lockdown is going to be, moving it for an extra month to the end of May to be in line with the water rates, I think shows the city doing its part and helping respect the citizens and helping every way we can.
Councillor Lafreniere?
Yes, I agree with what Councillor Plummer just said. And in light of the other levels of government, we don't know when that financial relief will actually get in the hands of the people that need it. Those affected most that maybe are seeing layoffs, things of that nature, additional childcare costs, who knows. And I believe that there's a lot of people that maybe are financially unaffected that would still pay their taxes, at the regular intervals. So I would certainly put the word out that anyone who can still pay them on time, obviously the city, we need to operate as well. So, we encourage those who are not financially affected to, still send in their payments at the original dates, but that we are being lenient to show empathy to those that are affected. Thank you.
Councillor Abdallah?
Yeah, I agree with Councillors Plummer and Lafreniere. These are unprecedented times that we're living in, and anything we can do to help the citizens of Pembroke and the businesses to work out their cash flow situations is the least we can do. So I'm glad to fully support this motion.
Councillor Giacono? Councillor Giacono?
Can you hear me? Sorry.
Yes.
Thank you, Your Worship, members of council. I agree wholeheartedly with the statements that have been made. I was in conversation this morning with a business person who has just infused $400,000 of money into a business for expansion and has had to let her staff go pending the circumstances. I agree that we should be giving people a break. However, a deferral doesn't mean that it's that you're not going to have to pay. I think people have to understand that. If you're able to pay, try to pay your taxes because it's still going to be a hit at the end of the scenario. My other question, Your Worship, may be to you and to council as to whether there's been any consideration of declaring, under the Emergency Measures Act, a request to the province that would help cover the businesses within our community that may be reaching out even more.
We're not at the stage where we want to declare an emergency. I think what's happening here, Councillor Giacono, is we're waiting for the province. This afternoon, I gather, we're going to hear the financial statement, and I think that'll give us a better way to go. Now, I could ask our manager of emergency if she has any comments. Ms. Osorio?
We just had a meeting yesterday with the CEMC's, Community Emergency Management Coordinators of all of Renfrew County, and at this point, we've all decided that we're not recommending to councils at this time to declare an emergency. We are capable of manning and all our resources. So our staff is still well, and we're still able to perform our essential services. We're not having any volunteers for this particular pandemic. So at this point, there is no need for the municipality to declare a state of an emergency.
Your Worship, if I may, as a supplemental, I wasn't so concerned with, I know that, that the corporation has a plan in place, and it's a very strong one. Of course, residents should be assured of that. My concern was, to the businesses that are reaching out that may need that additional assistance. And if the emergency is not declared, they may not have the ability to do that. That was my concern.
You don't go hand in hand. So if the businesses are in dire straits, they can then apply to the different programs that are being offered by the province and the federal governments. But at this point, whether we declare an emergency or not has nothing to do with that funding.
Thank you.
Councillor Reevy.
Thank you, Your Worship. I echo all the comments from my fellow councillors. We're in the unique spot being the level of government closest to our residents. So we are all going through this very close together. And by supporting this motion, we can at least ease some of the burden. It's not a good thing to be concerned about your health, about your family's health, and also financial burden. So I think this is a good way forward.
Thank you, Your Worship. As I understand it, and I stand to be corrected, in terms of our taxes, normally it's March 31st, May 29th, August 31st, and October 30th is the dates that I'm not talking about water and sewer, but in terms of taxes. Originally, I came in this afternoon being in agreement with extending the tax situation from March 31st to April 30th, not all the way to May, with the water and sewer going from April 30th to May. And my thought process was this, and I look forward to comments from council in this regard. If you put the first installment to May, is the expectation of council that taxpayers are going to pay 2 installments on May 29th, or are we going to have a discussion this afternoon about taking the second installment and moving it further back? And it gets us into the discussion about how far do you push things in a given year. I understand that ratepayers are struggling. I have different businesses calling myself, as I'm sure that they're calling all of the councillors, saying, are you prepared to waive? And as I tell them, we're a creature of statute, and no, we can't waive things unless the province was of such a mind, and I do not believe that they're going to be of such a mind. But yes, we can certainly extend things if that's the prerogative of council. So it raises that question for me. My thought was, in terms of the 1 month, is to allow the federal and provincial government programs to commence, get some funding flowing, that sort of thing, and reevaluating at a later time as to what are we doing with the second installment in terms of tax, what are we doing in terms of the second installment in terms of the water and sewer. I'm mindful that the city of Pembroke spends millions every month flowing that money back into the economy in terms of purchasing services and goods and so forth, which keeps the monies flowing, because when I see businesses closed, that's not instilling a whole lot of confidence in myself, but I know that the city of Pembroke and larger employers are still doing what they're doing, and as a result, they're putting money back into the economy. But if the city itself isn't achieving a certain dollar amount from the taxpayers at the same time, where does the funds come from in order for the municipality to continue to do that? And I'm just mindful that we have a fiscal year, and I can't contemplate pushing things, and I don't see that it's, unless I'm told otherwise, that it's possible to push into future years. So if we're dealing with this year, and the last payment is October 30th and hell or high water, that's the last payment. I'm just struggling with this concept of in between. If we extend the first installment by 2 months, what are we doing with that second installment? So I may be in the minority in terms of what this motion is, but that's where I'm coming to with this concern. So maybe we can have a discussion then about the second payment, which is not what I wanted to talk about this afternoon, but I think it prompts that, because otherwise you're going to have 2 payments on one day. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. I'd like to say that I'm in favor of the motion extending both payments to May the 29th. And I think what's important here, as one of the councillors mentioned, is that the people, for instance, who are not affected, by what is happening from an economic point of view, that they will make their payments as due. But we know that basically there are a lot of businesses and individuals who are having a very difficult time at this stage. And until we know exactly what's happening from the province, we know what's happening from the federal government. It'll probably take a few weeks to sort out. But I think the issue of how are we going to handle that second payment instead of on the one day, that we could look at that at possibly at our next meeting. Any comments, Deputy Mayor? Okay, Councillor Abdallah.
I just had a comment on Councillor Jacquinot's comment. And I totally agree with what he says. But, I've talked to many businesses too, and this is catastrophic what's going on. But one benefit that the Prime Minister announced this morning is the emergency benefit of $2,000 a month for up to 4 months, as you are all aware, and it covers people who are self-employed also. So that's one thing that we have, and anything else that the province comes up with also, and what we can do. And I agree with the mayor. We can work out the second payment at another meeting, but I'm fully in support of extending the first one to May 29th.
Your worship, if I may.
Yes, Councillor.
People need help now, and I believe that they're reaching out, and I think by deferring the way we are, that we will give them some assistance. And as you had suggested, Your Worship, looking at future deferral or a deadline date at another meeting would be a good thing. The community does need funds to operate, but if people don't have the funds and they're not working, we're not going to get those funds. So in essence, we have to give them a break. I agree with the Deputy Mayor as well. He's a numbers guy as well. He understands that if you don't have the dollars coming in, it's very difficult to operate your operation. But I think the city stands well with the reserves at this present time, and we have to band to give the folks that need a hand right now the hand that they need. Thank you.
Any other comments before I call the vote? Councillor Lafreniere?
I just want to say that I hear what Deputy Mayor is saying, that anyone that maybe might have to come up with the 2 payments. So, that's not an easy thing to swallow. But I think that, as the mayor said, we could look at that at another time. Possibly, example, let's say they were, their tax bill was $1,000 and we're deferring that. And now they have to look at $2,000 at the end of May. Possibly, we could look at spreading out that first payment over split it. So I'm sure that the treasurer, she works with people all the time that have had trouble, with their taxes. And if we know that it's one payment, and maybe they can give us half the first payment in May and then the other half with their July payment, something can be worked out. But I still support the original motion. I think that this is a fluid situation and we have to sort of go with the flow right now. So.
Any other comment before I call the vote? Thank you. So would the treasurer please do the roll call?
Deputy Mayor Gervais,
Yay.
Councillor Abdallah,
Yay.
Councillor Jacquinot,
Yay.
Councillor Lafreniere,
Yay.
Councillor Plummer,
Yay.
Councillor Reevy,
Yay.
and Mayor Lemay.
Yay.
So the recommendation carries.
Motion carried or the recommendations carried. Okay, pet tag due dates.
So the second report is related to the pet tag due date, and we are currently seeking a recommendation from the Finance and Administration Committee on a possible extension to the pet tag due date, which would require an amending bylaw. As per the fees and charges bylaw 2019-43, pet tag fees increase by $10 after March 15th of each year. The city staff have received some calls and questions about whether or not the timeline for pet tags for the reduced rate due date could be extended in light of City Hall office closures to the general public. The City Hall did close to non-essential visitors on March 17th after the March 15th pet tag due date. City staff have undertaken a number of different measures to ensure that residents can still obtain their pet tag, perhaps not quite as easily as before, but certainly residents can still get their tag through a request through regular mail or by using the mail slot located at the front of City Hall. And city staff have developed a pet tag application form which can accompany payment, which we now have loaded on the city's website. And then upon completion, receipt of the completed application form and payment, city staff can mail pet tags to residents as required. In addition, city staff have advised animal control of longer turnaround times in obtaining tags from the city because of the longer process involved. Possible Finance and Admin Committee recommendations include that the Finance and Admin Committee accept this report as information with no due date extensions, or that the committee recommends amending the bylaw to extend the pet tag due dates to April 15th. In terms of the financial implication of a possible due date extension, it's not expected to have a material impact on municipal finances. The annual budget for dog tag license fees is $15,000. To date, the city has received about $7,200 as compared to about $8,000 at this time last year. For cat registrations, the city's annual budget is $5,000, and to date, the city has received about $2,200 as compared to $3,600 at the same time in 2019. Thank you.
Thank you. Could I have a motion, please?
I'd like to make a motion.
Go ahead, Councillor Abdallah.
I motion that we move the date for the payment of pet tags to May 29th.
I would second that, Your Worship.
Thank you.
Coincide with, yeah, okay.
By Councillor Jacquinot. Thank you. Okay, discussion. Let's start with Councillor Reevy. Oh, I'm sorry, Councillor Abdallah as mover.
So I motion to move it to the 29th of May to coincide with the tax delay date also of the first installment, because everything would be in line, and it's not going to take a financial hit on the city, and it gives people more time, and it just makes the whole process more simple, easier. Thank you.
Councillor Jacquinot?
Sorry, Your Worship. Yes, I agree with that wholly. Especially pending the times and what people are going through. Pets indeed can be their solace in tough times. So that's all I have to comment at this time on that item.
Thank you. Councillor Reevy?
Thank you, Your Worship. I have a hard time with this one just because the reduced rate was up until March 15th when City Hall was still open. And then it closed on the 17th. So if people were looking for that reduced rate, they should have purchased their tags prior to City Hall being closed. So I can't support this motion. I know it's another expense as a pet owner, but our residents were aware of the date for the reduced rate.
Thank you. Councillor Plummer?
Thank you, Your Worship. I'm kind of on the same feeling as Councillor Reevy, just because I know the office was open, but also we were kind of into the COVID scare at that point too. So I don't, to argue over a date from the 15th to the 29th, it's really go back and forth. So really at this point, we'll just even though I'm not 100% in agreement, I will keep with the motion and vote in favor, move it all to the same date just for easy keeping track of things.
Thank you. Councillor Lafreniere?
Yeah, I guess my only comment is it's not going to make much difference to those that can't renew it online, because I somehow doubt our office will be open to the public by that date. Maybe, who knows? At this point, like I said before, it's fluid. It doesn't matter to me. To me, it doesn't make any difference. I would just say leave it open for the year with no penalty, and just hope people come and register their pets. That's all.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor?
Thank you, Your Worship. I can't support the motion. Similar to what Councillor Reevy has already said, the deadline was already established. City Hall closed after the fact. I would have thought that we wouldn't waive or wouldn't extend the time frame, but we would give a directive to staff not to commence enforcement. I know that previously there was discussion with animal control before all of this decided to rear its ugly head in terms of this year taking a more proactive approach in terms of dog and cat tags to ensure that everyone is compliant in the city. So I don't support it. I think people, as Councillor Reevy already said, knew about the deadline, chose not to do it. So whether it was COVID or not, I got a feeling that they weren't going to be compliant in any event. So I just don't support it.
As far as my feeling is, I can support the motion, because as we're trying to delay for everybody, and I understand fully that the pet owners probably waited till the last minute, but I don't have a problem with the motion the way it is. Are there any other comments before I call the vote? All right, Treasurer, could we call the vote, please?
Certainly. Deputy Mayor Gervais.
Nay.
Councillor Abdallah.
Yay.
Councillor Jacquinot.
Yay.
Councillor Lafreniere.
Yay.
Councillor Plummer.
Yay.
Councillor Reevy.
Nay.
Mayor Lemay.
Yay.
So it carries 5-2 in favor.
This motion is carried. Item C, parking enforcement.
So a request has been received from a business owner within the PBIA to cease issuing parking tickets during the province of Ontario's emergency declaration. The business owner stated she did not have a parking space associated with her business, and she now feels that with the population being requested to self-isolate, they should not be required to move their cars. So they should be able to park their cars night and day at the meters. She also indicated that many businesses are struggling, and enforcing the parking regulations may deter shoppers. When council agreed to provide the 2-hour free parking at the meters, it was for the convenience of the shoppers, not the business owners or their staff. It is important to keep these metered spaces open for the public to easily access a business. It also is important that we enforce other parking issues in the PBIA and in other areas in the city, such as loading zones, accessible parking spaces, and parked in front of a fire hydrant. The 2-hour parking lots, though, such as Market Square Lot and Alexander Street parking lots, could allow extended parking past the 2-hour limit. I have amended the report that was originally sent to you. I have been able to contact and to speak with Lou Hamill, who's the owner of Giant Tiger, and he has provided a response, and he does have concerns about not enforcing the Alexander Street parking lot. He said this will create a level of abuse that would hinder downtown customers having access to this lot for the purpose of doing business. Mr. Hamill would be fine with extending the parking lot limit to 3 hours, which would give people more time and cause more turnover in the parking lot. Overnight parking is still not permitted in the Alexander Street parking lot. The Cockburn lot, which is by the amphitheater, and the Marina parking lot are permit parking lots. And this could be changed to allow for all-day parking, especially since the Cockburn parking lot is not being used very much because the Algonquin College students are not in session at this point. The parking area behind City Hall between Sussex Street and Nelson Street, as well as Shamrock Park, which is across from Ulrich's, could also be extended past the 2-hour limit. So given the number of businesses being closed or operating on a limited basis, opening up the parking lots would not cause any issues in providing business operators and those self-isolating at residences downtown ample parking spots without inconveniencing the shoppers. It is recommended that enforcement not be done on the above lots during the state of emergency. So the planning department is recommending that enforcement be suspended for the Market Square lot, the Marina parking lot, the Cockburn parking lot, the Shamrock parking lot, and the City Hall parking lot between Sussex Street and Nelson Street. Staff is further recommending that the Alexander Street parking lot be extended to a 3-hour parking lot. This suspension in parking enforcement for the above lots, as well as the 3-hour limit for the Alexander Street parking lot, will be in effect until the provincial emergency declaration has been terminated. Council direction is required.
Thank you. Could I have a motion, please?
I'll put a motion forward. I would move that we support the recommendation made by staff exactly as outlined by Ms. Souriau.
I'll second the motion.
Thank you. Councilor Lafreniere, would you like to comment on it, please?
I just think again, we have to support those that are really struggling right now, and that a lot of them are in our downtown core. We'll also support the people living down there by giving them more access to parking. When they do have to go somewhere, it limits them, maybe have to walk a little further, exposing themselves a little longer. No, I support the recommendation as well as going along with Lou Hamill's suggestion, because he's a great supporter and he understands the need, but we also understand the problems he's had in the past in his own lot. So those are the reasons.
Yeah, so I was contacted by the manager of the PBA last week with this issue, and I'm glad that Ms. Souriau and her department have come up with a very feasible recommendation, and it's another move. Anything we can do to spur business downtown and in the community. So I'm fully supportive of the motion.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor.
Thank you. So I have no issue with the recommendation, but there's one thing that I'm trying to ensure that I have down accurately. So there's no overnight parking to be permitted at the Alexander Street parking lot. And then there's another comment in your report about no enforcement. So will that aspect be enforced in terms of not Mr. Hamill's, but the Alexander parking lot? Will there be any enforcement so that there is no parking overnight if that's in fact a criteria that there be no parking overnight there?
Through your worship, that is a criteria, that there be no overnight parking. So that is not being suspended at all. So there would still be enforcement on that, as well as there would be enforcement on the 3-hour parking limit if approved by committee.
So If I may, Your Worship, then I am in support of it as long as that is clearly understood as part of this motion, those particular points, because again, I echo what Councillor Frenier has said in respect to Mr. Hamill. He's certainly an anchor business in our community, certainly sits on a variety of different committees for the city of Pembroke. Certainly, I take any of his information very seriously, and I would think that we should be ensuring that those particular items are part of that particular motion. Thank you.
Councillor Giacono?
In support of the recommendation by the department, Your Worship.
Councillor Plummer?
I support the motion.
Councillor Reevy?
I'll be supporting it as well. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd call for the vote, please.
Deputy Mayor Gervais.
Yay.
Councillor Abdallah.
Yay.
Councillor Giacono.
Yay.
Councillor Lafreniere.
Yay.
Councillor Plummer.
Yay.
Councillor Reevy.
Yay.
And Mayor Lemay.
Yay.
Vote is unanimous in favor.
Thank you. Could I have a motion to adjourn, please, Deputy Mayor?
Worship, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Giacono, that we adjourn.
Again, could we have recorded vote, please?
Deputy Mayor Gervais.
Yay.
Councillor Abdallah.
Yay.
Councillor Giacono.
Yay.
Councillor Lafreniere.
Yay.
Councillor Plummer.
Yay.
Councillor Reevy.
Yay.
And Mayor Lemay.
Yay. This meeting is now adjourned.
There's a council meeting right after. So the mayor's just gone to get his change.
I'd like to call this council meeting of Wednesday, March the 25th, 2020 to order, please. Disclosure of pecuniary interest and general nature thereof. Approve our minutes from the council meeting held on March the 3rd, 2020. Deputy Mayor.
Your Worship, moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Giacono, the minutes of March 3rd, 2020 be adopted as circulated.
Thank you. Recorded vote, please.
Deputy Mayor Gervais.
Yay.
Councillor Abdallah.
Yay.
Councillor Giacono.
Yay.
Councillor Lafreniere.
Yay.
Councillor Plummer.
Yay.
Councillor Reevy.
Yay.
Mayor Lemay.
Yay.
Carried.
Adopt the minutes from our committee meeting, the Finance Administration Committee meeting held on March the 3rd, 2020. Deputy Mayor.
Apologies. Your Worship, it's moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Lafreniere to adopt the minutes of March 3rd, 2020.
Thank you. Recorded vote, please.
Deputy Mayor Gervais. Councillor Abdallah.
Yay.
Councillor Jacquinot.
Yay.
Councillor Lafreniere.
Yay.
Councillor Plummer.
Yay.
Councillor Reevy.
Yay.
Mayor Lemay.
Yay.
Carried.
Bylaw 2020-24, the interim tax levy. Deputy Mayor.
Your worship, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Plummer, that bylaw 2020-24, a bylaw to amend bylaw 2020-02, being a bylaw to provide for an interim tax levy for the year 2020, be adopted and passed, and further that the said bylaw be signed by the mayor and clerk and sealed with the seal of the corporation.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Gervais, seconded by Councillor Plummer. That bylaw 2020-24, a bylaw to amend bylaw 2020-02, being a bylaw to provide for an interim tax levy for the year 2020, be adopted and passed. And further, that the said bylaw be signed by the mayor and clerk and sealed with the seal of the corporation. Do we have recorded vote, please?
Deputy Mayor Gervais.
Yay.
Councillor Abdallah.
Yay.
Councillor Jacquinot.
Yes.
Councillor Lafreniere.
Yay.
Councillor Plummer.
Yay.
Councillor Reevy.
Yay.
Mayor Lemay.
Yay.
Unanimous. Carried.
Bylaw to amend, bylaw 2020-25, to amend fees and charges bylaw, Deputy Mayor.
Your worship, to get this motion on the floor, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Abdallah, that bylaw 2020-25, a bylaw to amend bylaw 2019-43, being a bylaw to establish fees and charges on persons for payment of municipal services, activities, and use of municipal property for the city of Pembroke, be adopted and passed, and further that said bylaw be signed by the mayor and clerk and sealed with the seal of the corporation.
Moved by the Deputy Mayor, seconded by Councillor Abdallah. That bylaw 2020-25, a bylaw to amend bylaw 2019-43, being a bylaw to establish fees and charges on persons for payment of municipal services, activities, and use of municipal property for the city of Pembroke, be adopted and passed. And further, that the said bylaw be signed by the mayor and clerk and sealed with the seal of the corporation. Recorded vote, please.
Deputy Mayor Gervais.
Nay.
Councillor Abdallah.
Yay.
Councillor Jacquinot.
Yay.
Councillor Lafreniere.
Yay.
Councillor Plummer.
Yay.
Councillor Reevy.
Yay.
Mayor Lemay.
Yay.
So it passes 6-1.
Thank you. Resolution 010, second quarter water and sewer billing, Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Your Worship. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Reevy, be it resolved that the corporation of the city of Pembroke provide staff direction to extend the second quarter Q2 2020 water and sewer billing for flat and meter properties from April 30th, 2020 to May 29th, 2020. I believe that's the date.
Yes.
Thank you.
Moved by the Deputy Mayor and seconded by Councillor Reevy. Be it resolved that the Corporation of the City of Pembroke provides staff direction to extend the second quarter 2020 water and sewer billing for flat and metered properties from April 30th, 2020 to May 29th, 2020. Recorded vote, please.
Deputy Mayor Gervais.
Yay.
Councillor Abdallah.
Yay.
Councillor Jacquinot.
Yay.
Councillor Lafreniere.
Yay.
Councillor Plummer.
Yay.
Councillor Reevy.
Yay.
Mayor Lemay.
Yay.
Unanimous. Carried.
Thank you. Mayor's report. Regarding the present emergency created by coronavirus, it is paramount that each one of us, young and old, do what is necessary to stop the spread of COVID-19. As a community, we must take this seriously and follow the directions provided by the federal and provincial governments, and most importantly, those provided by the Renfrew County and District Health Unit. We are asked to do three basic things, all of us, other than those who are required to self-isolate. The basic things are, 1, social distancing, so please stay home. 2, wash your hands frequently and be sure to wash them for a minimum of 20 seconds. It is essential to wash your hands every time you go out and come home. And 3, stay informed. We will be posting information on our website as it becomes available. Listen to local radio stations to keep up to date. Thank you, healthcare workers. We know you are working long, long hours. Thank you to all of you working in essential services. Thank you to all the people who continue to offer services in our community. Council is working closely with emergency management, and we want to stay fully informed on things that are going on. City staff continue to provide necessary services to make sure that our infrastructure stays safe. Rest assured that our municipal services on which you depend will continue. So thank you, staff, for all your hard work. This is also a very difficult time for businesses. We know that economic aid is coming from both the federal and provincial governments for both individuals and businesses. Information about making application for assistance will be coming from the government. It is also important for us to remain calm, take responsibility for ourselves, and take care of each other when possible. Please remain sensitive to the needs of the elderly and the vulnerable members of our community. Finally, it is in everybody's interest to make public health our top priority. I wish everyone well during this difficult period, and please stay safe. Could I have the confirming bylaw, Deputy Mayor?
Your worship, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Abdallah, bylaw 07-2020 to confirm the proceedings of the regular meeting of council of March 25th, 2020 be adopted and passed, and further that the said bylaw be signed by the mayor and clerk and sealed with the seal of the corporation.
Moved by the Deputy Mayor, seconded by Councillor Abdallah, that bylaw 07-2020 to confirm the proceedings of the regular meeting of council of March 25th, 2020 be adopted and passed, and further that the said bylaw be signed by the mayor and clerk and sealed with the seal of the corporation. Could you please take the vote?
Deputy Mayor Gervais.
Yay.
Councillor Abdallah.
Yay.
Councillor Giacono.
Worship, before I vote, I would like to extend my thanks to you on behalf of all of our council, I'm sure, for the excellent job of putting this electronic forum together. Obviously, we have the technology. We have the most dedicated staff as well, and I do vote yay.
Councillor Lafreniere.
I'm going to say yay, and I don't know, but councillor updates, if there were any, was prior to this. I'm not sure if we're going to have that tonight. I know we're all in the same boat, so I think we'd be saying a lot of the same things anyway, but I just want to remind the mayor that councillor updates was missed. Thank you.
Thank you. Continue.
Councillor Plummer.
Yay.
Councillor Reevy.
Yay.
Mayor Lemay.
Yay. Could I have a motion to adjourn, please? Deputy Mayor?
Your worship, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Lafreniere that we adjourn.
Moved by the Deputy Mayor and seconded by Councillor Lafreniere that we move to adjourn. Could I have the vote, please?
Deputy Mayor Gervais.
Yay.
Councillor Abdallah.
Yay.
Councillor Giacono. Councillor Giacono. Councillor Lafreniere.
Yay.
Yay.
Sorry.
Thank you. Councillor Plummer.
Yay.
Councillor Reevy.
Yay.
Mayor Lemay.
Yay.
Carried.
Okay, we are now adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Stay
Thank
safe.
you.
Council, could you
Thank
stay
you.
on for a moment, please?
I'd like to give everybody a big hug.
No, would you please hang on, please? I have some questions. We're just waiting for both